Today we are making Anpan. Anpan is a Japanese bread filled with sweet red bean paste. My family loves Anpan. My sister lives in Taipei and she recently started an Instagram account where she tries buns and rates them against Anpan. I hope my Anpan lives up to her favorite Anpans. The first step is to make the sweet red bean paste. These are adzuki beans and you can find them online or at any Asian grocery store. Here I'm using about 200 grams of dried beans. You want to rinse the beans just to get off any dust particles or dirt. Then you're going to put them in a pot and cover them with about 2 inches of water. Let that boil, and as soon as it boils, you're going to strain the water. This is just an extra step to clean and purify the beans. And then you'll cover them with water once more and let them boil with a lid slightly ajar just so it doesn't overboil. You want to let it simmer and check on it every 10 to 15 minutes to make sure the water doesn't boil all the way down. Keep replenishing with hot water when the water becomes low. It's going to take a while for the beans to become soft, so be patient. You might be wondering why we didn't soak these the night before, but adzuki beans are pretty hard and it takes a long time for the soaking process to do anything, so that's why we just go straight to boiling. It's okay that it takes a while though, because meanwhile we can make our dough for the bread. The recipe that I'm going to show you makes 5 anpan, but you can easily double it if you'd like to make more. The secret to this recipe is to make a water flour roux called a tangjong, or in Japanese a yudane. I know it looks like I added milk here, but I tried this recipe twice and realized you don't need it. To make this, you're going to take 50 grams of water and 50 grams of flour and heat it on low heat in a small saucepan over the stove. It's not going to take very long, so you want to stir or whisk continuously until you have a thick paste. Once you reach the desired consistency, take it off the stove and transfer it to a different container to allow it to cool. This process is essential to the soft and fluffy finished products that we want because cooking the flour first allows the gluten to start to develop. It also allows the bread to retain more moisture through the whole process. Then in a large bowl, add 200 grams of bread flour, 2 grams of salt, and 4 grams of instant yeast. Just for your reference, this is the type of yeast I use. It comes in a big bag, it's not that expensive, and I just keep it in my freezer and it stays good forever. Then add 100 milliliters of lightly warmed milk, 30 grams of honey, your Yudane mixture, and finally 1 whole egg. Mix that up and then transfer to the counter to knead until smooth. If you want to do this and you have a stand mixer, you can use it. I wanted to show you all how to do it without in case you don't have one. Finally, when it's pretty smooth, we're going to add 10 grams of softened butter. And then you're going to knead and work it into the dough until it's a completely smooth ball. Alright, and then shape it into a beautiful little ball and place it in a greased bowl and cover it with a damp towel. We're going to let it rise for 1 to 2 hours until it doubles in size. During this process, hopefully you're tending to your adzuki beans and hopefully that they're getting a little softer by now. When they start to become soft and break apart like this, I like to add this sugar. So I'm adding 100 grams of white sugar and a little more water to keep the beans cooking. So it took about 30 more minutes of checking them and adding more water when I need to for them to get fully softened and reach this luscious, silky consistency. Now I want to blend them till smooth. If you like a chunkier paste, you can put them in the food processor or just let them cook down and mash them up with a spoon, but I wanted to try to go for a smooth paste. So depending on how much water you have left in the pot when you're ready to blend, you're going to need to add water to blend it. I ended up adding around a 1/4 cup of water to this mixture to get it to be a smooth blend. And then remove from the blender and transfer to another vessel to let it cool. You can see here that it's pretty smooth, but it also has some body to it, so I could imagine rolling this into a ball. Oh my gosh, look at our dough. It's so beautiful. It's risen wonderfully. So at this point, you're ready to start shaping your little pastries. So punch down your dough, flour your work surface, and carefully put the dough out onto the counter. So then you're going to divide your dough into 5 equal portions. I know that I did 4 here, but I think that they ended up a little bit large, so I would do 5. So then you're going to shape them into nice round balls by pinching in the corners, flipping them over, and shaping them with your hands. Now cover them with a wet towel and let them rest for 15 to 20 minutes. While we let them rest, we can go back to our cooled red bean and start making little balls for the insides of our dough. I just take a teaspoon, scoop a little ball of dough, roll it, and then flatten it a little bit. Roll the balls until you have finished all of your on, and you'll notice that you're going to have a lot more than 5 little balls. That's great because what you can do is individually wrap them in plastic wrap and keep those in a freezer bag. So next time you want to make this, your on is ready to go. Once your dough has rested, roll it out into a circle. Place your red bean in the middle and pinch all of the sides together. Flip it over, shape it into a ball. I actually ended up pressing my palm down on it a little bit just so that it didn't puff up so much, and then place it on a lined sheet tray. Continue with the rest of your dough. And then we're going to let the pastries rest for another hour. Meanwhile, I'll get my egg wash ready. I'm using 1 whole egg, a tablespoon of water, and a pinch of salt. A half hour into the proof, make sure you preheat your oven to 375 to 400 depending on how hot or cold your oven runs. Our doughs have risen, they're nice and beautiful and ready to be baked. But first we're going to put the egg wash over the whole top of the dough. And then sprinkle with a little black sesame seed. And then you're going to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes until they're nice and golden brown on the top. My oven runs cold, so I ended up baking them for a few additional minutes with the broiler on, just to get the tops nice and golden brown. Transfer to a wire rack to cool. And there you have it, beautiful homemade Anpan. The inside is moist and fluffy, and the red bean is just the perfect sweetness. I hope you make these, and if you do, please let me know, and let me know what you think. It's so good.